Welcome. Today we are going to look at History Paper 1, Section A, 25 marks. Give one reason why the Mijikenda community migrated from their settlement of Shungwaya during the pre-colonial period. Attacks by Oromo, increase in population. State two ways in which the Akampa interacted with the Agikuyu in the pre-colonial period. Through trade, through warfare, intermarriage. Question 3. State two functions of the Council of Elders among the Somali. 1. Maintenance of law and order. 2. Settlement of disputes. 3. Presided over religious ceremonies. Question 4. Name one Agikuyu leader who resisted the British. 1. Gatere Tetu of Nyeri. Waiyaki Wahiga, Dagoretti, Nairobi. Question 5. Give two consequences of rural-urban migration among the Africans during the colonial period. 1. While most of the urbanized Africans retained their cultural identities, a few lost their ethnic roots. The integration of people of different backgrounds in the urban areas aroused political consciousness among the Africans. 3. Some of the urbanized Africans were converted to Islam and Christianity. Question 6. Give two ways in which the trade union movement contributed to the nationalist struggle in Kenya. 1. Express the African grievances to the colonial government since African political parties were banned. 2. Created an awareness among the Africans about their rights. 3. Created an avenue through which the Africans could air their grievances. 4. The leaders got support from the international community for the nationalist cause. Question 7. State the main reasons why the African elected members of the LECO rejected the Layton and the Lennox Bed proposals. They wanted elections to be based on universal suffrage. Question 8. Identify three types of conflicts. Personal conflicts, national conflicts, international conflicts. Question 9. Identify two features of the Kenyan Constitution. Number 1. It provides for separation of powers in the government. 2. Provides for the rule of law. 3. Provides for respect for and protection of individual human rights and freedoms. Question 10. Define the Bill of Rights. It refers to the section of the Constitution that contains the rights and freedoms of the individual citizen. Question 11. State two types of parliamentary committees in Kenya. 1. Committee of the Whole House. 2. Select committees. Question 12. State two functions of the Secretary to the Cabinet. 1. Prepares the agenda for the Cabinet meetings. 2. Takes minutes during the Cabinet discussions. 3. Oversees the implementation of the Cabinet decisions in his or her capacity as the head of the civil service. Question 13. State two functions of the civil servants in Kenya. 1. Maintain law and order. 2. Implement government policies. 3. Account for government revenue. 4. Offer direct services to the people. For example, doctors and teachers. Question 14. State the main reason why general elections were held in 1983. To rid the government of disloyal elements. Question 15. Name the tax levied on local produce by local authorities. Cess tax. Section B, 45 marks. Question 16A. State 5 reasons for the migration of the Highlands Nilotes into Kenya by 1800 AD. 1. They were searching for pasture for their livestock. 2. Increase in population led to the sustained pressure for expansion. 3. Natural calamities such as drought, famine, and diseases led to migration. 4. International conflicts which led to the instability forced them to migrate. 5. Attacks by neighboring communities led to migration to safer areas. 6. Some people migrated for adventure and the desire for loot and plunder. Question 16b. Describe the political organization of the Nandi during the pre-colonial period. The Nandi political system was based on autonomous political units known as the Porosiek, that is singular Pororiet. 2. Each Pororiet was made up of several clans. 3. Each prorate was under the influence of Council of Elders, whose duty was to maintain law and order. 4. The Council of Elders settles disputes relating to welfare, land and cattle, or crime. Their decisions could not be challenged, for they were final. 5. The Council of Elders made major decisions affecting the community. 6. Each prorate was further subdivided into smaller political units known as Kokwet. The Kokwet was headed by a lesser Council of Elders, the Kokwo. 7. The Kokwo dealt minor disputes such as conflicts over grazing grounds. 8. During the first half of 19th century, the Nandi adopted the institution of the Okoyot. 9. The institution of the Okoyot brought unity among the Nandi. The Okoyot was looked upon for advice on matters pertaining to welfare, circumcision, sacrifice, and the transfer of power from one age group to the next. 10. The Okoyot ruled by consensus. 11. The Nandi had a court of law, the Kokwetap Pororiet, which administers justice. It was advised by a section of lawyers, the Kiruogik. 17a. Name 3 areas in the Rift Valley where there were large concentrations of white settlers. 1. Kericho. 2. Nakuru, Naivasha, Njoro, Kitale, Nyahururu, Nyandarua. 17b. Explain the methods used by the colonial government to ensure Africans in Kenya provided labor to the settlers. Colonial authorities used force to ensure that Africans provided labor. The use of forced labor was particularly evident in the settler farms where Africans grew crops and kept animals for Europeans. 2. The colonial authorities established crowded reserves for the Africans. This forced many Africans to look for the employment in the European farms or as a domestic servant. 3. The colonial authorities alienated African land and gave it to European settlers. This led to landlessness among the Africans. Landless Africans were consequently compelled by the necessity to look for employment. 4. The colonial authorities also made sure that the Africans were left with land that was not fertile. They could not survive on such land. 5. To ensure that the Africans provided labor to the Europeans, the colonial authorities made it mandatory for the Africans to pay taxes. This forced Africans to work in European farms in order to earn the money. 6. The colonial authorities trained a few Africans for clerical jobs in the civil service. Those trained for such jobs felt privileged and so went to work. 18a. State 3 reasons why the colonial government encouraged European farmers to settle in Kenya. 1. They wanted to make Kenya a white man's country by encouraging white settlers to form the backbone of the economy. 2. The colonial government hoped that the settlers would finance administration